Hey, Rambling Ted here. I'm back. I've been gone for a couple weeks. Might see that I'm in a different place. It's kind of personal, but suffice it to say that I had to move. I had to do some different stuff with my life. Nothing. It's not a bad thing, but it is what it is. But I got me a pretty neat little apartment. It's an efficiency, which I'm pretty simple, man. I don't need a lot. And let me turn the camera around and show you around. Start off with this is the living room, and then you go this way. There's the bathroom. Keep going this way, and it's the kitchen, which I kind of like this little kitchen. Nothing fancy. Got a view of some other apartments. But yeah, this is me now. This is it. It's an efficiency apartment. What they like to call a studio now, which when I was young it was an efficiency. But quite a bit of room. This closet's kind of a mess right now, but big old walk-in. I'm sure it'll be full of guitars soon. Right there is where I plan on putting my little recording setup. It's not a problem being in an apartment because I do my recording in the digital domain. Another little closet. That's the front door over there in case you didn't see it. And this big, huge deck, which not sure what I'll do with. Maybe I'll put some plants out here. I don't know. I string some lights up there that light up at night. Kind of nice. But yeah, plenty of room out here. This is a pretty large deck. Funny story about this deck. When I first day I came to the apartment, I came up here and I walked out here and I slid this door closed and was standing here looking around. Then I went to go back in and the door was locked. It somehow relocked on me. So I had to call the apartment manager to come let me back in my own apartment. It was great. She said that's never happened to her. Or never had anybody lock themselves out on their deck before, but I did it. That's how my life's going. Anyway, I'm about to head downtown. There's something going on downtown that ties into a TV show from my childhood called Three's Company, and these ladies get together and they do this thing they call the Roper Romp, and they dress up as Mrs. Roper. And I, for some reason, I have a huge desire to go see a bunch of women dressed up as Mrs. Roper from Three's Company walking around downtown. So I'm gonna go down there and check it out and maybe go have some lunch or something. I just wanted to check in with you guys, and I'll talk a little bit about the video I had that got copyright stricken or struck or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of interesting. Well, it's not actually kind of boring, but it's kind of interesting the way it turned out. So next time you see me, I'll probably be downtown Texarkana. Rambling Ted saying, let's get this day started. Let's see what we can get into. I'm downtown. I can see some Mrs. Ropers over there getting ready for their deal. We're in front of the post office. Three's Company was a groundbreaking show for its time. It dealt with a lot of issues. It was a comedy. It was a sitcom, and it was silly, and it was crazy. It had John Ritter in it, and when it first started, Suzanne Summers and Joyce DeWitt. And then later on, Suzanne Summers was replaced with a few different people. But it dealt with issues. John Ritter was a guy who played a guy named Jack Tripper. I'm sure most of you have seen the show. Who needed a place to stay, and at that time, a man living with two women was like unheard of. You just didn't do that, So the landlord at the apartment complex was a guy named I can't remember his first name, Mr. Roper, but I remember his first name I cannot remember for some reason. They always called him Mr. Roper. Well, he did not. You couldn't be a man living with two women. He just wasn't going to stand for that. So Jack had to pretend he was gay, and the show dealt a lot with him trying to keep up this facade of being a gay man. But it kind of, as it went on, it got into a lot of things. But for its time, it was kind of groundbreaking. It was what they called at the time jiggle TV, because the whole women were burning their bras, so you had a lot of jiggling going on, and it's just a different time, a whole different time. You couldn't have it. You could have a show similar to that today, but it would have to be way different than what Three's Company was like. But anyway, there's some Mrs. Ropers over there, and they appear to have done a fine job of replicating Mrs. Roper's look. I'm pretty impressed. It's a pretty day out here today. Texarkana's downtown has really gone through a lot of beautification. It is a lot prettier down here than it used to be. There's still quite a few eyesores, but for a time there in the 80s and 90s, it had gotten a little rough down here, and a lot of these buildings were just falling apart. And there have been a lot of people step in who have the money and the time to improve a lot of this stuff, and it's kind of nice. I see some Ropers over there. There's Mrs. Roper. There are a bunch of Mrs. Ropers. I guess they're going to meet in front of the post office, and in front of this post office, which is a unique one, and walk around downtown. So we'll see what they do. You can see a lot of people love to come to this post office and take pictures. It has a unique aspect in that it's in 2 states at once. It's divided down the center, half in Texas, half in Arkansas. John F. Kennedy spoke on those steps, so long time ago, of course. I think it's a beautiful post office, and it's just a wonderful day today. I'm pretty happy with the weather. This is nice. It's been rainy and nasty. This is a lot better. They actually have a thing over there that you can set your camera up on and then take a picture of you in both states. A lot of people come here. It's a touristy thing to do, and I think it's pretty fun. I did it when I first moved here, and they didn't have all this. There was no sign or anything, but we thought it was cool to be in 2 states at once. Always somebody impatient. Why are people so impatient? Like, come on, man. If you're in that much of a hurry, there are other ways to go than through the most touristy part of town. It's funny. I'm going to cross the street here. Well, there's still about 5 minutes before they officially start their Roper Romp, as they call it. Let me show you an interesting little building over here. Well, interesting to me, maybe to you if you like some Ramblin' Ted history. I'm probably the only one that really wants this, but I'm recording a lot of stuff for posterity. This gray building right here, back in the 90s, I was friends with a guy named Bob Coleman, who worked at the Texarkana Gazette newspaper. His nickname was Bullet Bob Coleman, and he was a blues fanatic and harmonica player, and I'm a big blues fan, so we all put together a blues band. And this was his wife's store back then, where she sold curios and knickknacks and things. And now it's a building for lease. It's empty, but that room right there, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see in there, behind this door in this part, we practiced in here. This is where we rehearsed. And we were in here rehearsing one day. We were in there rehearsing one day, and this has been about probably 94, 95, somewhere around there. And we had that's my friend Marshall. We had blinds down over this window, and looking through the bottom of it at us was a man's face, and he was going nuts. And he ended up being our lead singer, a guy named Robert Weisinger. It was kind of a funny meeting. My friend Marshall's talking to some of the Mrs. Ropers down there. I was just talking to him, and he asked him, he said, "Why Mrs. Roper?" And they're like, "We don't know." We don't know. But it's pretty interesting. And they have got it down. They all look so much like Mrs. Roper. It's crazy. Crazy. And we were just talking about how back in the 70s, that wasn't even an unusual look for ladies. There were a lot of ladies in my neighborhood. There were a lot of Mrs. Ropers. Um, and I don't know, she just struck a chord with so many people. So many people. And her character, there was a spin-off show from Three's Company called The Ropers, and I don't think it lasted a season, maybe. But it was still a good show. Oh, I'm gonna get out of their way. Here come all the Mrs. Ropers. Marshall's a local photographer, and he does pictures of all these society events, so I'm trying to stay out of his way. It is a whole gaggle of Mrs. Ropers. What is a whole group of Mrs. Ropers called? A Helen? A gaggle? No, that'd be geese. But this is something, they do it all over the country. It's not just around here. It's a thing. It is a definite thing, and these women have got it down. They all look so much like Mrs. Roper. So much. There's a straggler.
Huh?
A straggler, Miss Roper.
Straggler, Miss Roper.
Well, some of them are in. Do we have? I think we've got more in Texas than Arkansas right now.
Oh, well, definitely. Everybody is. Everybody is.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, oh yeah, there's nobody in. Why are they all Texas Miss Ropers? Do they not love Arkansas? What's up?
It's just not even out here.
You got to balance it out a little.
Yeah, we'll have to later.
What they do this for, it's as a sort of a charity event. You bring dog food or pet food. So if you come, bring some dog food, cat food, anything like that they get. I think they donate to one of the shelters here locally. But then they after they do that, they meet here and they just kind of walk around downtown and go to the different pubs and have a few drinks, like Miss Roper would probably do back in the day, and get ready to go home to Stanley. That's what one of them told me, that Mr. Roper's name was Stanley, and I remember how she said it. She said, Stanley. Yeah. So anyway, this is pretty cool. They're getting ready to. I think they kick it off about 10:30. So, but yeah, that's just a whole bunch of Miss Ropers back there. I love it. Quite a turnout of Miss Ropers. Quite a turnout.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Kind of like.
That woman just told them they were all pretty. Of course they are. Miss Roper is beautiful. What a beautiful woman. Marshall was just saying that their heads look like a garden, and he's right. Like their heads line up with those bushes.
And then if you want to show. Oh, you got it.
That's awesome. Like a garden of Miss Ropers. This guy walking by has no idea what he's looking at right now. He has no idea what's going on. He just shook his head. They're getting ready to do their group photo. I'm going to move around back here. And they're using the selfie stand, believe it or not. Sure, Marshall's getting some good shots of them, too. They're all calling each other Helen. There's a lot of Miss Ropers in one spot. There's
nobody make fun of my running.
okay, they got their group picture. Now they're gonna head out and basically just walk around town and stop by a few spots for mimosas, I guess. There they go. They're all heading down to the Regal Beagle for mimosas. I am going to put this stuff back in my car, and I might drive down there, and it's not quite lunchtime. But there they go. This is great. Oh, Helen Ropers. I don't know how many of them are there. There are a lot. A bunch of Helen Ropers heading down the road. Not something you ever think you're going to see in this town. Amazing. Heading down state line. Said I was going to talk a little bit about the that video that got copyright stricken. I put in I contested it, and they had 30 days to respond. Well, just like I kind of figured, they didn't respond. So it has been reinstated as monetized now, and I'm supposed to get all the back money from it, which isn't a lot of money. I mean, my videos, I'm not making a living off of this, but it's still nice to have your money from your efforts, you know. But so far, I should be getting my money from it, and they didn't come back with anything like I knew they wouldn't. It's a scam. So I would suggest that anybody that company tries to copyright strike, if you've used what's supposed to be copyright free music, just contest it, and wait 30 days. I mean, it's ridiculous that they do that, and I think YouTube should do something about it, but I'm not sure what they would actually do to fix the problem. But yeah, so where I'm going from here in life is I don't know. I've got my little apartment. I'm living on my own. You know, I was married for 20 years, and I was in this last relationship for 18 years. I'm 57, so if you add that up, I've spent most of my life in a relationship, and haven't lived on my own in 38 years. So it's kind of interesting. It's a new chapter, and I may do some videos about that because it's odd. I don't know that I'll ever be in any kind of a relationship again. I'm just going to do me for a while, I think, and see where that takes me. Anyway, I may insert some other footage in here, but I'm going to go ahead and do my ending right now. This is Ramblin' Ted saying, be good to each other. Do silly things with your friends. Dress up as Mrs. Roper. They had a spin-off. They were so popular, Mr. Helen and Stanley Roper, they had a spin-off that lasted a few seasons, I think. And they were replaced by Don Knotts as the apartment manager. Kind of interesting. The show was great. If you can find it on Pluto TV, I think, and watch the whole show, and you can see that it would not fly today. The humor and stuff was a lot more unpolitically correct back then, which is kind of what we did. That was our humor. I'm from the generation where we didn't get offended that easy, and I'm still kind of that way. I don't really take offense at a lot of things. I've had comments on my videos about being old and wrinkly, and who does this guy think he is? I don't care. Comment all you want. It just drives my engagement up and makes my videos get shown to more people. So But anyway, this is Ramblin' Ted saying, be good to each other. Costs nothing to be nice to each other, nothing at all. And just try to do the right thing in the world. Try and be good, and it comes back to you. It all comes back to you in the end. See you next time.